and a very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program, CAC Weekly. Now, CAC Weekly is that weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievement of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Amina Jibril. Now, coming up on the program, stakeholders laud CAC reform as a 3-day multilateral peer exchange on Beneficial Ownership Register, BOR, ends in Abuja. Two sister agencies seek collaboration with CAC to digitize their operations. Plus, inactive companies risk striking off as CAC strengthens enforcement. Details of all of those will be right after this break. Do stay with us.
Beneficial ownership transparency has been the hallmark of ambitious OGP reforms advanced by Nigeria. The Panama Papers, Paradise Papers, Pandora Papers have unmasked how anonymous shell companies are often used for illicit and stolen wealth or terrorist financing. According to the World Bank, roughly 70% of the biggest corruption scandals between 1980 and 2010 involved anonymous shell companies. The disclosure of the individuals who ultimately control or profit from a business through a transparent central BOT registry can help stop the illicit flow of billions of dollars through Nigeria. That is why this registry is so important. Allow me to commend and congratulate the fearless Honorable Alhaji Abubakar Garba, Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission CAC, and his team, who have led a truly bottom-up, user-focused design of the register, where government officials, civil society, business, and media have shared feedback on how to make the registry intuitive and usable.
It is glad to have you back on the program. Now, our esteemed viewers are no doubt aware that the CAC has been breaking ground and achieving numerous milestones since the assumption of office by Alhaji Garba Abubakar, alias the Digital RG. The series of reforms rolled out by the Commission earned it many accolades from both within and outside the country. On Wednesday, May 24th to Thursday, 25th, 2023, the CAC recorded another milestone achievement when it unveiled the Beneficial Ownership Register, BOR, in accordance with global best practices. As a follow-up to the groundbreaking event, a 3-day multilateral peer exchange event on practical aspects of implementing beneficial ownership reforms was rounded up with applause for the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, for implanting far-reaching reforms to improve its operations. Now, the gathering, which drew stakeholders from Kenya, Liberia, Namibia, South Africa, Germany, and the United Kingdom, was co-organized by the Open Ownership (OO), the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime (UNODC), and the Stolen Assets Recovery Initiative (STAR). During an inspection visit to the CAC, the Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, conducted a multilateral team tour of major operational departments and units of the Commission, including the Record Management Department, RMD, Special Projects Unit, SPU, Call Center, and Registry Department.
Of that company will ask you to link it to the industry, because this is more common with incorporated trust units. Somebody will tell you he's reading his registrar initiative, and the name will be vague in the sense that it doesn't tell you what that initiative is actually about. So we'll tell you to qualify the name by linking it to the party. If you are doing charity, except if you are using your own personal names to set up a foundation. If you just submit one word and say, I'm registering this as a foundation, we'll tell you no. Foundation to do what? So you must qualify it by representing the name to reflect some of the key objectives. So if you are doing empowerment, you add empowerment to the name. Sometimes some of these decisions are informed by the nature of our society.
So for an example, if you have, let's say, Apple Construction, and Apple baking. Would you consider those two similar?
No, they are not similar.
Okay, because
Yeah,
they're
they are clearly distinct.
Alright.
So, Arjun,
So maybe the follow-up question on the question, considering that we are in West Africa, probably the Dangote conglomerate.
No, we don't give you Dangote name.
No,
No, we don't give you.
I want to give you an example.
Yeah.
And then I choose something pretty close to Dangote.
We'll not give you. Some have tried. Some have tried. We'll not give you. Any international brand or renowned brand will not allow you to use it.
Okay.
Will not. Because it's a clear case of personal.
Oh,
You may be trying to use the goodwill of that country.
Okay.
Yes. We don't allow you.
Arjun,
Yes.
what if something mining company, do you allow them to, in the articles of incorporation, do you allow them to do restaurant business?
Well, there is no restriction on what you can have in your articles, on your memorandum. So you can have as many objects as possible.
The reason I'm asking,
Yeah.
the something mining company,
You may want to have a restaurant in the factory that will operate on a commercial basis, and you don't want a separate entity to run that restaurant. So if you have restaurant business as part of your objects, you can use it. Yeah. You can have as many objects as you want, but certain sectors don't allow that.
sure.
The banking sector will not allow you to have any other object outside banking activities. But general objects, general companies may have as many objects.
So when your act comes in conflict with the banking law, which one takes precedence?
In what area?
In terms of if any provision.
No, usually what we for the banking sector, we have an arrangement with the central bank. We don't even incorporate your company until you bring approval in principle from the central bank. We only reserve the name for you. You have to go to the center because you are required to deposit the share guide. Otherwise, everybody will call themselves a bank and set up a shop without a regulatory license.
The visitors had on-the-spot assessment of the operations of the various departments and units and also interacted freely with the staff with a view to sharing experiences for improved performance. Some officers of the Commission were equally on hand to offer practical demonstrations of operations from name search approval to certificate generation, much to the admiration of the visitors. The officers who took turns to demonstrate the workings of the system also entertained questions from the multilateral team about the exercise.
Once a request is made and the printout has been printed out, they send it to us. We request for the file from the filing room. So they bring it depending on the request. So most of them are usually updates of file company updates. So when these files are brought here, we share it to staffs who handle the updates.
How do you share it? Do you have record of how you?
Yeah, we have records of how we share it to each of the staffs that handle the updates, depending on the quantity of the request. That will also determine the number of files that will be given to each staff. That will make sure that each file that is given to every staff is being treated on a daily basis. So at the end of the day, we must be sure that what is given to you has been taken care of.
So do you retrieve the files at the close of the day?
At the close of the day, we'll retrieve the file and keep them to where it will now go to the next stage. That is where we'll now keep also the record on how many files that have been treated. But non-file stays with us here more than 7 days. So the 7 days gap is to give room for if there's any problem with the file, maybe issue of maybe there's a mixed document or there's any request that is not there, so we can call the customer.
Like this one, we can eliminate the "and," so there is no similar name. Then you see, this is the essence of the advanced search. You will eliminate spaces and you remove conjunctions if there are. So D and B construction is still not available. So therefore, we are going to copy it and now go back to the application.
The person submitting is aware that an existing.
Yes.
You now put the "and."
Yeah.
Thinking that will escape us.
Yes. So therefore, we are going to deny his application because there is another similar entity that is registered.
Dealing in beauty product or beautification may not require professional certificate, even though you can be a professional in it. So I don't know. Can we assume that this is?
No, we assume that the consultation service is related to beauty. Yeah, it's related to beauty.
The Registrar General and CEO of the Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, stressed during his remark that the Commission has had a checkered transition journey from manual to automated registry, striving to operate in line with global best practices. He therefore restated the Commission's resolve to continue to improving its operations in accordance with global best practices. In a vote of thanks, the Director, Registry, CAC, Mrs. Ifama Ogechidere Isaac, recalled the Commission's study visit to other company registries around the globe and therefore expressed happiness over the feat recently achieved by the Commission, as it is fast becoming a reference point. Thumbs up to the CAC. And now moving on. Peer review and peer learning have been adjudged to play significant roles in driving innovation and leading to organizational growth. In the last couple of years, the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, has used the method to squarely improve its performance. As a result, the Alhaji Garba Abubakar-led CAC introduced a series of reform initiatives that have today positioned it as one of the best government agencies and unarguably one of the best company registries in Africa and the world. A recent testimony from Wilson Banda, the Registrar and CEO, Zambia Patent and Companies Registration Agency, during the just concluded International Peer Learning Workshop on the use of beneficial ownership information and the launch of Nigeria's Open Register of Beneficial Ownership of Companies and Entities is enough to celebrate Nigeria's CAC. This and many other seminal achievements have driven many government and private organizations to the CAC to leverage its experience. Nigeria's Trademark Registry has joined the ranks of those seeking the support of the CAC to improve its services. Now, during a courtesy call on the Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, his counterpart, the Registrar, Trademarks, Patent and Designs Registry, Shafiu Adamu Yauri, therefore applauded CAC support and cooperation over the years. Shafiu recalled CAC's glowing intervention that saved the Trademark Registry from being shut down for inefficient service delivery at a time. Yauri, who stressed that the Trademark Registry had recently undergone some reforms, added that improving its administrative structure, governing laws, and staff training for enhanced service delivery were being prioritized. He therefore said that the Trademark Registry was in the Commission to leverage its expertise in digitization and staff training, amongst others, with a view to further improving its services. Responding, the Registrar General and CEO, CAC, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, reassured the Trademark Authority of the Commission's continued support and challenged it to ensure full digitization of its operations in order to drastically cut down the timeline for processing trademark applications. On the desire to improving its governing laws, the Registrar General enjoined them to utilize the roundtable window available at the National Assembly, as well as liaise with civil society organizations to enable them to achieve their goals. While recalling that the CAC and the Trademark Registry had coexisted as departments under the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, the Registrar General said in some jurisdictions, such as South Africa, Zambia in Africa, and some parts of Europe, the two agencies were allowed to coexist together. Now, CAC Weekly reports that during the visit, the CAC Registrar General and CEO, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, was awarded Trademark Ambassador by the Register Trademarks, Patent and Designs Registry, Shafiu Adamu Yauri. Congratulations to the RG and CAC family. And now, still talking collaborations, the feats and successes recorded by the Corporate Affairs Commission in the digitization of its operations have continued to receive both local and international applause, as well as a series of requests for collaborations. The Industrial Inspectorate Department, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, MITI, has also joined the ranks of those applauding the Alhaji Garba Abubakar-led CAC and desirous of partnering with it to also migrate from manual to electronic processes with a view to improving its services. The Director, Industrial Inspectorate Department, Aniete E. Umoesian, stated this during a courtesy call on the Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, in his office. The director commended the reform initiatives of the Commission and urged it to sustain the pace, adding that the CAC was the pride of the ministry and Nigeria in general. Responding, the CAC scribe thanked them for their support and encouragement for the Commission as it continues to roll out reforms in line with global best practices. Garba Abubakar, who stressed that the CAC was always ready to partner with and support sister agencies within the limits of available resources, mandated the Commission's ICT department and the technical assistant to the Registrar General to assess the request with a view to identifying areas of intervention. Now, CAC Weekly reports that the responsibilities of the Industrial Inspectorate Department of the MITI include the issuance of certificates for tax rebates where such companies meet the necessary requirements, as well as maintaining data on the manufacturing sector of the economy. Also in CAC Weekly, we reported to you earlier that the CAC had on Wednesday, May 24th to Thursday, 25th, 2023, recorded another milestone achievement when it unveiled the Beneficial Ownership Register BOR. Weeks after the unveiling, CAC Weekly caught up with the Registrar General, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, who brings us up to speed on the BOR and upcoming projects for the commissions as it continues to make history. Enjoy watching this interview. Alhaji Garba Abubakar, Registrar General, CAC, many thanks for joining us on the program again, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Congratulations in arrears again. The BOR has been launched, a very successful launch. But give us an update. I'm sure it's about a month now from 25th, today is 23rd. So 1 month after. Let's have the update here.
The register is live and available. Anybody can check on bor.cac.gov.ng. As we have explained, this is a public register of beneficial owners of companies in Nigeria, and it is accessible to any interested person. The whole essence is to support our anti-corruption initiative and make this information available, not just to investigation agencies and intelligence agencies, but to the generality of Nigerians and the world. If you recall, this implementation was consistent with our commitment under the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, as well as the Open Government Partnership. Nigeria took itself to these clubs. Nobody forced us to join. And part of what we have subscribed to under this arrangement is to have a publicly available central register of beneficial owners of these companies. As I explained, as at the time the commitment was made, the legal framework for beneficial ownership disclosure in Nigeria was not even in place. So the Companies and Allied Matters Act was repealed and reenacted to provide the framework for disclosure of persons with significant control, which is the same thing as beneficial owners. We later issued persons with significant control regulations, which has defined who a beneficial owner is, the scope of application, as well as the nature of the disclosures that should be made. The last aspect was the development and deployment of the register. This was done with support from the World Bank and the Open Government Partnership under the federal government fiscal governance and institutional framework under the Federal Ministry of Finance. There is a fund that is actually dedicated to this. So we got some funding from that project, and the register was built under the supervision of the World Bank and Open Ownership. Open Ownership provided the technical support. This is the first register in Africa that is built in line with beneficial ownership data standard. It provides for the name, the date of registration of the entity, the registration number, the address of the entity. For the beneficial owner, the information deals with his name, his forename and surname, his month of birth and year of birth. We don't state the actual date of birth. The nature of his control, his address. The law allows you to restrict your residential address from public viewing. So if you choose to restrict your residential address, you have to provide a service address. So that address is also available, the email address, as well as the nature of the control. The nature of the control depends on the nature of your interest in a company.
All right. Before the year runs out, what other surprises does Alhaji Garba Abubakar has for the Commission and Nigerians?
Well, we have other initiatives that we're trying to bring on board, but the most important aspect is enforcement. We've discovered that a lot of people thought registration of companies is a one-off affair. They'll register a company. Sometimes the company may be active. In real sense, they may be doing business, or they may have property in the name of that company. But they don't discharge their obligations under the law. They don't file any returns with CAC. They don't update their beneficial ownership information. They only remember CAC, maybe when an embassy sent them back, that, look, you cannot use this account. Or when they try to bid for public procurement and BPP tells them that, look, you are not on the CAC portal or you are not on the BPP portal because your status is inactive in CAC. We are collaborating with other agencies to have zero tolerance to all this. Every company must file its annual returns and beneficial ownership information. And another thing we are doing is we will soon strike up companies from the register. Companies that have not filed returns for up to 10 years. They will soon leave the register. We'll change their status from inactive to struck off. But before doing that, we'll publish the names of these companies and give them opportunity to come and update these records. If they fail to update within the defined time frame, then their status will change to struck off. And the implication of striking off a name is you can't access your funds any longer with the bank. You cannot carry on any business. And if you have any property, that property is deemed to be a lost property and will be vested in the government, whenever cancha. Because it's like finding a property on the street that doesn't belong to anybody. So if you have a company that is struck off, that is like a lost property. Whatever asset you have, whatever money you have in your bank account will be vested in the government. You won't be able to access this money. But you have an opportunity to apply to court to release that company. Or if there is any creditor that has given loan to this company, that person can apply to the court to reinstate the company for him to be able to recover his outlay from the company. So other than that, whatever asset the company has will be vested in the government.
Okay, so that is the big building stick that is coming.
Yes, that is one. Secondly, we are in line with popular demand from our customers. We are working towards having a wallet. So a customer does not have to be paying per transaction. You can deposit some money in bulk. As you do your registration services, then your account will be debited. Yes, because sometimes the payment gateway sometimes may have issues. We have only one single point of payment. It's only remitter. That's the only gateway available, in line with government policy. So customers don't have options to use other gateways. Sometimes when remitter is down, they have difficulty making payments.
And that slows down revenue generation, isn't
No,
it?
no, not necessarily, because they will eventually come back and pay. But with the wallet, you already have their account. You know how much they have spent. For any subsequent transactions they are coming to do, you just debit their account. So it makes it easy for customers to transact. So, and as I said, we will intensify on enforcement drive. We'll begin to carry out inspection of companies to check whether they are actually maintaining the register of beneficial owners. So we are undertaking several visits to different companies across different states of the Federation to confirm if they are maintaining the statutory registers that the law asks them to maintain. And the penalty for non-compliance is heavy. So it's in their interest to actually do what is necessary, to do what the law says they should do. Not just putting the names in the register, they should also come and file the information with the CAC. And when there is any change, they're supposed to update their records with the CAC. So these are some of the initiatives, because largely most of the reforms have come to fruition. What we are concerned with now is the effectiveness of these reforms. But virtually all what we have set out to do, we have achieved them. So what remains now, as you said, is sustainability and effectiveness of some of these reforms.
All right. Registrar General, thank you very much indeed for your time as always.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a delight to have Alhaji Garba Abubakar on the interview segment. And on that note, we come to the conclusion of this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, for comments and inquiries, you can please take advantage of our social media handles and call us via our helpline. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. Our website is on www.cac.gov.ng. Our call center is on the number 0708 062 9000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program, same time and same station. I am Amina Jibril, saying bye for now.